Hey guys, how's it going? Ghost Rich here today, and today we're going to be doing an install on this Jeep. It's going to be with an app radio. Now, why would you want to use an app radio on a Jeep? Well, that's quite simple. Are you sick of dust and other things getting into the CD player and other things and blowing up your radio? Well, an app radio doesn't use all of those moving parts that a regular DVD, CD radio would. So it just takes out a whole bunch of things that can go wrong. It's like the difference between having a front-wheel drive car and an all-wheel drive car. Sure, it's very nice to have the all-wheel drive car, and I do like all-wheel drive cars, but the front-wheel drive has less chance to have lots of stuff go wrong, lots less parts. If you have never done CD removal on a Jeep, as you can see, this stereo isn't working so well, so Tariq Falcon punched it into the next universe. So what you want to do is you reach up right here. You squeeze this plastic tray liner. Just squeeze it and pull up. After you pull it up, there is a 7mm bolt, which you'll find hiding underneath there. The next thing we have to do is first you pull out this piece of plastic. It does not have a dog bone usually on it. And then you put your finger right here and you literally, like you're doing other naughty stuff, you use pressure and you pull out. After you do so, there's another hidden bolt right here. Yes, I know the lighting sucks, but that's fine because literally if you go on an angle right here and you pull out that 7mm bolt, that should be it. From there, we should be able to pop out this entire plastic console. Next thing you're going to want to do is take a finger or two, slide it right here in between the steering column and this, wrap it around here and pull. You'll notice that when you do that, these little clips let go. If you look at the corner pocket right here, you're going to see another 7mm. Take that 7mm out, and then there's one on the exact opposite side of the steering wheel right here. So our next thing that we're going to have to do is you'll see more 7mm. One here, one here, one here, and one here. Take all four of these out, and then we can pull the stereo forward. From there, just disconnect everything from the back of the stereo. They're all duct tabs. On the back of your stereo, you're going to notice that you have these sort of tabs. They're duct tabs. You would just literally click this. So this one is the back duct tab. You just click it right here to pull out. After you do that, then, well, this one you won't have probably unless you have an aftermarket stereo. That is a Bluetooth microphone. And then you have this, which is this is a pack module plug-in right here. You won't have this one yet. It will be just another duct tab. And this is, of course, definitely a duct tab. So literally you're just going to remove all of this right here and disconnect all of them by squeezing the duct tabs. Look at that, no buttons. It's just all on the side like a cell phone, and look how thick that is. Now if you want to compare it, Tariq, lift up the other one. Look at the thickness difference. It's half the thickness, it's about a quarter of the weight, and on top of that, it's very easy to mount. Now the mounting kit number is right here. And then the pack module you need is, because you do need a vehicle interface module, right here, CR2 CHY4. That's what the pack module is. You can get them made by Metra and other brands. So basically they almost all say CHY4 though. Just something to stay tuned to. Okay, next thing we're going to do is wire up this harness. For your screws, what I would suggest that you do is they go in these holes. So you line it up so it clips onto the side of the radio. See how it sits nice and flush? It literally clips onto the side of the radio so it fits, and then the two screws go in. Throw a little bit of Loctite on here so that way when you're off-roading, the screws don't fall out. If we take a look, it's all color coordinated. Your pack module or whichever module you have will tell you there is a 12-volt power. That goes to your red on the harness, yellow goes to yellow, black goes to black. If you want to, and again, this is completely up to you. If you're trying to avoid the parking brake, you can solder in your parking brake wire in with the ground, not the pack side, the stereo side, which is these two European plugs right here. You'll notice that there's also a light green wire that I don't have in this picture, but you would take that light green wire and you would attach that to the ground, so that way when it thinks the parking brake is grounded for doing settings and stuff. This is a safety feature It should be hooked up to the parking brake of the pack module, but it's up to you. Either way. So, going back to it, if you have an amplifier, you're going to use the remote out from your radio, which is this blue-white wire. And then the other ones are all speaker wires. These speaker wires, just color coordinate them. Green, black goes to green, black, green goes to green, white, black goes to white, black, white goes to white, purple, so on and so forth. That's what the greens, the whites, the purples, and the grays do. But that's it. That's how easy it is. If your radio harness, which ours did, has illumination, speed control, reverse, and all that other stuff, just take it, bundle it up, and put it away. You're not using that with this stereo. This right here is a duct tab. Take the one from your pack module, hook it up. Once that's hooked up, then make sure if you bought an antenna adapter, you plug it in. It goes into the white one. If there is another one, that's probably a satellite antenna one. If you plug it in there, it's not going to work. So after you've plugged that in, you plug this in. Now you're just going to tuck your module away in here. And it can just literally sit in here. Make sure that this doesn't go here. If you don't want this to be vibrating around, you can use some Velcro or a zap strap it up in here. After you've done that, you're going to notice you have your 2 clips and your parking brake. Connect these to the back of the radio. Also then connect on if you're going to use an auxiliary, left, right aux to headphone jack, you can plug that into your video aux on the back of your stereo. And then if you have a subwoofer, you'll plug that in. And then now we need our microphone. I like to keep the microphone in the Jeep just up here in the center, and it just clips on to the plastic piece when you put it up here. Now, why do you say that? Because if you have one where the top removes off your Jeep, and if you have the windows open, it doesn't pick up as much wind noise. So it's perfect to be right there. So if you pop your glove box open, this opening goes right to your glove box. So if I were to reach my fingers through, see how you can see the tip wiggling? That's where you're going to pop through your rear-facing USB, because almost all decks nowadays come with a rear-facing USB. So you just tuck it into there, and then you can plug in your device there. Don't put it in the front, because if you do and it's hanging around up here and a police officer pulls you over, he can still pull you over for distracted driving if it's within hand's reach. Take a look here. Your deck only has 1 subwoofer out. It does have fronts and rears, which are 2 because there's a left and a right, but your sub on here is mono, because technically subwoofer is mono anyway. So what you can always do is either put a Y adapter here if your sub amp needs 2, or you can Y amp it at the amp. So you can either do one here or at the amp. I would do it at the amp, so that way you can just plug it in and be done with it. Way easier to troubleshoot that than going behind the deck. After you plug this in, throw 1 wrap of tape on it. Make sure your microphone is plugged in. Make sure your parking brake is plugged in. Make sure you've plugged in both the power and the speaker plug, and then plug in your antenna. After you've done this, and if you have a subwoofer, you've wired in your sub power line in, remote in, there we go. And so then after that, just bolt your deck in. Once you've bolted this in, only thing for me is my microphone's hanging here. We're just gonna give it, don't start your vehicle, just put it on, so that way it fires up like so. Perfect. We have everything firing up. And I can hear, ta-da! Wow, that is super quick for loading. That was instantaneous. That was cool. Wow, good frequency equalizer. Tuner, USB, AV in, Bluetooth audio settings. So if we go to BT audio, and then let's say we were to search for our deck, I'm sure we would be able to pair it just that easy. Settings. Wow, very easy. Here we go, BT auto connection. So if you leave it so it's yellow, that's on. Clock settings. Sorry, just gonna turn this off. And so now we would set our hours and stuff. I don't have the time on me, but we'll just do that. Also, you can do 12 or that, and then you can also do AM or PM depending on what time it is when you're setting it up. Very, very easy. Holy smokes. Presets are probably pretty easy. If you click and hold, probably programs. Yep. So if I went to the next one, there. Yeah, super easy to preset. Yep. Let's see display. Aspect panel adjust. We'll leave it 16:9. Press and hold the cross for 1 second. Press and hold the cross for 1 second. I always like to calibrate these the first time. It might just get me to continuously do this, and I'm just doing the whole cat trick.
Trolling you right now.
I think it might be. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, I'm done with your games. So it looks pretty good. That's awesome. Click and hold probably powers it off. Yep. That way, if you're driving at night, you don't want it on. Click and hold turns back on. Yes. Really
That's
instantaneous
insane.
because it's got no moving parts. Your fader looks really cool. You can just do this. I want only this kid to hear Baby Shark to do. I only want my wife to hear that. I only want my, yeah, that should be me. Reset. Perfect. Awesome. I also, like I said, I like the equalizer. That's perfect. All right. So if you don't know, lowest band right here, which is 62, this is your subwoofer. This is your low end. This is like your mid bass right here. And then right here, as you go up, this is all your really high pitch noises. So you can always go through here and set all this. If you want to do that, there are preset ones, but the average person might just leave it on flat, depending on your audio system. Other than that, I'd give this deck really, like, just from first off, it's really quick because there's not a whole lot to it. Very simple to use. This is like a very, very, very dumbed down deck with a lot to give, meaning that you can still do everything you want to do on it. Bluetooth, radio, USB, and AVN. It's literally the essentials that you need for phone calls too. If I hook that up, it would be perfect. Anyways, I'm going to leave this at that because I need to do a couple things and a couple setups. But other than that, we're good to go. Thanks again for watching. Press like if this video was interesting to you and subscribe for more. The only thing really left to do is clip your whole plastic piece back on, and then you put your screw in back up here, screw in through the cup holder and the two down below on each side of the steering wheel, the one that was down here, and then you clip back on your plastic piece here and clip back on this piece, put your rubber insert back in and slip in your cup holder. Or just watch the beginning again in reverse. All right, thanks again for watching. Last minute couple things. So for Bluetooth audio, all you do is literally, it's so simple, you almost don't think it works. You grab your phone, you search for Bluetooth, you click it, it doesn't even pop up on the stereo. It just syncs to it. So that's something different. If you're not going to be using it, you might want to actually turn off the auto syncing of Bluetooth because you don't want someone to try and auto sync their phone from another car. Maybe a kid does it by accident. Another thing to note, you hit settings, you go to audio. If you are using a subwoofer, make sure you hit it. Now, the HPF on this thing, or your high frequency cutoff, as I should say, an LPF, low frequency cutoff, I would set it at 80. There isn't really a lot of choosing here. It came from factory with the sub off, so make sure that you just set it. So we have it at 80. We've turned the sub volume all the way up. If that's too much bass for you, feel free to turn the sub volume down on it. And if you ever get sick of that bloody noise, if you go to settings, you go to audio, and you hit beep, and look it. Oh, also if you hit loudness, take a listen. Some people like the sound of loudness, some people hate it. If you hit loudness, it definitely increases the bass and some other fun stuff. Check it out, you might like it. If you don't, yeah. If you hit sound effect, again, you can set this flat or whatever the heck you want. Rock. I'm going to just put this back to flat for now. And we will choose the one that we want. That's your quick couple tips.